Can you sit? Hey. Hi. Can you sit down? Hey, sit down. Sit. Sit. No, there's no popcorn. Sit. Sit. Hello. Good morning. Welcome to the Hear Her Hands Knitting Podcast. My name is Jennifer. I am a knitter, crocheter, quilter, and sewist located in Baltimore, Maryland, where I live with my partner, 2 miniature schnauzers, and 2 black cats. So today we're going to do a little bit of a summer, it's a summer project planning sort of thing. You can follow along while I try to document this because my actual follow through has been so lately. So first of all, we'll start with some celebrations. So I have already this summer completed some things. Like my main goal when we came back from Japan was to start finishing projects that had been like languishing on my wood pile. Can you sit? Hey. Hi. Can you sit down? Hey, sit down. Sit. Sit. No, there's no popcorn. Sit. Sit. So start off with finishing my Japan sweater, which a more thorough project review on that in my next project video, which will hopefully be after this one. I did finish it because I bought the yarn in Japan. It started in Japan. My gauge watching math may have been off, or I messed up my increases in a couple of places because I had added a V-neck to the Raglan Lite, and I thought I was doing increases maybe on both the shoulder and the neckline, but I miscounted or I got off somewhere. So that shirt, the Raglan, is like, it's not even an exact match. It's like right up in my armpit. It's just uncomfortable. It doesn't fit right. It is no fault of the pattern. It's no fault of the designer. It is my fault for trying to alter a pattern before I really knew what I was doing. And because of that, I will have to frog it. But I did finish it. So so far I've knit my Japanese yarn into 1.5 sweaters. And I guess I will knit it into another one. Anyway, so let's start with my a quick little wheel of finished objects. So when I came back from Japan, my knitting plans primarily were focused on finishing and picking up and also finishing any whips that I had as much as I could, especially like when we're talking about like tees and tank whips, because I had several things that I had started last summer and like just put to the side when it stopped being summer or when I was ready to start knitting. More fun like sleeved sweaters and cardigans. So first off, and then immediately after that, I went into finishing all of my winter. I have several projects from Advent. I think I actually finished my Hearthside cardigan on my last podcast, so I did talk about that. That one's finished. And then I finished the Japan sweater, and then I picked up my anthology Throw by Helen Stewart, and I finished that. And that was really cool. It's very pretty. I will also show this in my next podcast. that's another little check mark off the finish, so the finished check mark. And then I had a Palm Springs tank that I was working on, and I finished that, and I washed it, and there was more mishaps as well with that, and I learned some things, and I will talk about that, but it is finished. It does fit. It does not fit the way I would prefer it to fit, but it fits exactly the way the pattern is supposed to, so it's fine. That. And then after that, I picked up another sweater that I started last summer. When we were doing the Tori tees and tanks knit along or something like that. So I had originally started the Raglan Lite last summer in a really fun trans pride yarn. It's very pink. It's navy and light blue and really pretty light pink color with sparkle. So that is very fun. So I started that. I did pick that up to work on finishing it. That is not a finished object. So I had 4 or 5 finished objects. Yeah, I honestly did pretty well considering. So let's get into what are we going to plan to knit this summer. So first, since this is a year-long blanket knit along with 11 stitches, I plan on starting another blanket, and I have talked about this, but I have not started it yet. So that one is the Little Gemstone blanket, and I am going to knit it in Blue Sky Fibers mini skeins that I got in Arkansas in the colors Big and something. I don't remember. Big and Cecil. There's a pretty array of blues and purples and greens, I believe. And my border color for the Little Gemstone is going to be a plain white yarn. So that is one thing I'm gonna start next. So in addition to that, on the tees and tanks side, I'm going to work on finishing my original Raglan Lite by Tori. It's coming along. It's definitely, I think I'm just in the ninth hell of body. There's so much yarn. So I will keep knitting that until it's done. I'll put a picture of the Tori pattern, and then I will put a picture of my sweater as it stands right now. It's not finished. But we're doing good on that. And besides the Brooklyn Raglan, is I have started, but just a whole lot of not much. I have started knitting the Traveler by Andrea Mowry. And the yarn I am using for my Traveler, not that one, is this one. So this is a 80% wool, 25% cotton. I think it's wool cotton, yes, and 25% cashmere yarn. That is from a cone yarn company, and it is blue and pink and gray. What I really wanted was, which I'm not going to get, was the striping fade effect of a hand spun yarn, like Natalie's Traveler that she hand spun herself. But I am not interested in learning how to spin. It is not a skill I am I'm really interested in learning. I have plenty of other hobbies. I don't need, oh my god, I don't need another one. Anyway, so I bought this in the hopes that it would get me something like that, but honestly, if it doesn't, it is a really nice, soft, squishy yarn, and I think it will get a perfect, traveler hoodie style top for camping. And as I'm going camping at the end of July, I am hoping to focus on this project because this one and the other top that I'm working on are the main ones I really want right now. I mean, I want to finish stuff too, but you know, it's always the new shiny that wins our attention sometimes. And then my other, so that is like my sort of truncated knitting plans. And then my other plans are, I have some other plans I have not really, yeah, so my other main plans are, oh yeah, so I have started a Jethro, so that's the other main one that I'm going to work on. I like to always have something crochet in my pocket, so to speak. I like to be having at least like 2 main knitting projects and 1 crochet project. And since I'm not crocheting a blanket, I still haven't been crocheting a blanket. I am crocheting this. So what I am crocheting is the Jethro by Tanis Lovely or Tanis Fiber Arts. And I'll give you an example. So here's one of my squares. So my Jethro cardigan I'm going to be knitting in blues and purples. I have this giant bundle of, you know, it's really old stashes. Like from when I very first started knitting, I bought a bunch of Knitpicks Cotlin, and I bought it in 2 color packs. I don't know. So one was like blues and one was purples. So that is what I'm going to make this in, and I have started, and I have 20 squares, and I need 36. So we are well on our way to a traveler, I believe, or a Jethro, I believe. I do think that my Jethro will be really fun, and my main plan for that is to keep knitting or crocheting 1 square a week, so that I'm still working on it a little bit, but also so that I'm focusing on my other 2 main projects, which are the Traveler and the Sabai. And then once I finish one of those, actually probably once I finish the Sabai, I'm going to start knitting the Gemstones, little Gemstone blanket. And then my only other, like, plan top is I really want to do a fade. So I still have the other half of my, what's it called? I can only remember the pop part of it. Grayscale. So I still have a good portion of my grayscale yarn from my advent from Suburban Stitcher, and my plan for that is to turn it into an extra light bright pea by Warren Pine. So I am going to, with that especially, I'm definitely going to start with like the more cool sides with the blacks and grays on the top, and like fade it into the like more brown blacks and grays on the bottom. But honestly, I may still have enough left over to like add to something scrappy. But I currently have like a good portion of that yarn. Not half, not quite half, but I think the extra lightweight is really cute, and I think that will be really fun to work on. So that will be once I finish my Sabai and my Traveler, and that would be a really cute top to wear underneath my Hearthside cardigan, because it's the same yarn, it's just only the black part of it. So, and then once I finish those, my other main goals for the summer are to focus on gift knits. So, gift knit number one that I am taking with me when I go to California soon is a DK weight pine colored sock yarn. I am going to knit DK socks. I think I'm going to try to knit the strong heel, and I'm going to knit them for my partner, which is why they're DK weight, because knitting fingering weight for a size 15 foot would never happen. I would never finish it, honestly. But I do like knitting socks. I just don't like knitting socks so much that they're my like primary travel knitting project, because I get bored pretty easily. So that's why I'm gonna try something like the strong heel. I think I'm gonna do the toe up, which is it's called the vanilla reversed or something. I don't know. I may have to double check if that's possible with a DK weight. I wonder if there's a like vanilla reversed DK. If you know, can you tell me? But I really want to try the strong heel, and I tried it in my usual like 2 at a time toe up, and that was messy when I got to the heel. I got so confused so quickly. Like I'm sure there's a way around that. Oops, sorry about that. I'm sure there's a way around that. Like maybe I can do 2 at a time toe up to the heel, and then like separate them and do the heel, and then continue or something. That seems like that might be my best option. But yeah, I started that, and then I like proceeded to get really confused. And also, I really want to learn how to knit the strong heel. And I also don't. I want to knit my partner socks, but I don't. So the good thing about this is if I do one at a time, toe up, I gonna have to measure his socks. I'm not sure that my sock ruler that I have is big enough. Yeah, it's a size 15 foot. But, you know, that's the main plan is I'm going to, like, probably measure one of his regular socks. And from that, I will, like, knit one sock. So then if it's a fail, it's only one sock. Anyway, yeah, hopefully that is one gift that I'm planning on working on. The other one that I did take to Japan, it did not work on, is My Good Gambit by Samantha Guerin. So that pattern is so much fun. I have a really cute set, a really cute set of yarns that I want to knit it in to knit a Good Gambit for my best friend back home. So she lives in Colorado, and she thinks she'll get a good amount of use out of a like bandana scarf. So that is my next of my main 2 summer knitting plans is her gifts. So I'm going to knit a Good Gambit and a pair of socks. And then after that, we'll go back to knitting for me. The good news is that since I was in Japan, a new yarn store opened up in my city in Baltimore, and it is extremely accessible for me as someone who is disabled and doesn't drive, and they really aim to be accessible and welcoming, and they're a great space. So the yarn store is called the Local Stitch Baltimore, and they derived out of a yarn dyer, a yarn company, who herself is known as the Local Stitch. And she does botanical dyed yarn. She does yarn that is like specifically dyed from like flowers and herbs and things in her garden. So I got this from her. This is 50% wool, 25% silk, 25% flax. This is a sport, and it is indigo dyed. So it is dyed specifically with indigo, which is why she gets this lovely blue color. And I will say the downside to indigo dyed yarn is that it comes off on your hands, and I think like she just aims to be incredibly like, that's the word I want, ecologically friendly. So she doesn't use any like chemical fixatives, I don't think. So when I blocked my swatch for this, I did use a little bit of a fixing wash that several people had told me about, and that helped quite a lot. Oh my god, the camera wants to focus on you, buddy. That did help quite a bit. It did still literally turn my base in blue. But it is beautiful. It's very fun. So this yarn I bought for a purpose, and that is one of the purposes that going into my summer knitting plans. I have 2 skeins of this. The store owner scanned up the first skein for everyone who got this yarn. And we got it as a part of a knitting class called How to Knit Your Favorite Tank Top. And we are using the Sabai top pattern by, I think it's polyester. Hold on. You know the Sabai top. I'll put it in I'll put the picture. And then I will also put like all the specifics down below. But yeah, so we are using this to knit the Sabai top, but the Sabai top, I believe, just does not have any short rows, and I don't think it has bust darts either. And so the knitting teacher in this class is specifically using the Sabai top to teach us things like how to add short rows in the back of the neck of your sweater to bring it up, and how to add bust darts to make your sweater fit better, and how to use your body measurements to get the fit you want. And so she also did measure us. So our first class was last week, so she measured us entirely, like for the top. I think so. She measured like the back of the shoulders, like around the armhole, upper bust, and under bust, and waist. And so all of those measurements were very helpful, because I have tried to do those measurements myself previously, and apparently my measurements were a little bit off, even with trying to get my partner to help me. It just really helps to have someone who is the word I want. Knowledgeable. Measure you and teach you like things you need to know to get a good fitting top. So I'm excited for that. So far we've only done our swatch. We're going to start knitting the sweater this week. In our next class. So big lofty goal number 1 for the summer is it's your favorite tank or something. But yeah, hopefully I can like make some progress on it, and I can talk to you about what I've done so far. What are all the projects that are currently on my needles, and how everything has sort of like wrapped up for good or for worse in my next main knitting podcast. But until then, thanks for watching and have a great one. Bye.